So the American people lifted the yoke of martyrs from numerous political fortune-tellers. They elected Trump as president. The States turned out to be a paternalistic country that decided that a white, albeit elderly, eccentric populist man is better and safer than a colored woman, who is generally unclear where she can lead. The Democrats lost. The white middle class preferred a political showman, and the wavering ones leaned toward the formula, let this old man do something, because the previous one never woke up. However, the first disappointments began right away. The promise to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours with 2 phone calls predictably turned out to be a lie. Of course, Trump's sectarians immediately began to talk about how Trump meant the moment he takes office. But this is a lie. Candidate Trump promised to end the war the same night as soon as he learns of his victory. He simply lied, but this is a trifle compared to the disappointments that are yet to come. Putin, who pretended to be rooting for Harris and afraid of Trump during the entire election campaign, blossomed like a weed in a pile of manure and declared, what was said about the desire to restore relations with Russia, to help end the Ukrainian crisis, in my opinion, seems to deserve attention. The bald man is confident that at least the captured 20% of Ukrainian territory is already in his pocket, and Trump, by putting pressure on Kyiv, will help him get out of the quagmire of war, which is killing the Kyiv economically. For the first time in many years, Russia's budget has once again become deficit-ridden. There is talk of freezing the bank deposits of the deep-sea dwellers. But the bet on the unpredictable Trump may turn out to be overestimated. After all, Trump is not a czar. And Europe, although weakened, is free of illusions about the Kremlin's intentions. Germany has yet to go through the reefs of a government crisis. But Finland, Poland and the Baltic states are already strengthening their borders with Russia at an unprecedented speed. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, speaking in Budapest, said, "We increasingly see North Korea, Iran, China and, of course, Russia acting together against Ukraine. I look forward to meeting with President Trump and discussing how we can act collectively in the face of this threat and how we can ensure the security and well-being of our part of the world." In principle, Europe began to tilt to the right even before Trump, marking a global trend. Liberal migration policy has led to the destabilization of the usual way of life of Europeans. And after yesterday's attack by Palestinian fans on Israeli fans in Amsterdam, Arafat's protégés will most likely no longer be perceived as some kind of peaceful force. The German police have already learned to harshly disperse and deport demanding supporters of Palestine. And this experience will be adopted by security forces throughout Europe while Israel continues to iron out Lebanon, burning out hotbeds of Hezbollah and other Hamas. Washington warned Iran that if it attacks Israel, the US will not be able to prevent a more destructive response for Tehran. Now, with the advent of Trump, the Ayatollahs will have to pray with triple force, because he is quite capable of flooding the world with cheap oil, in collusion with the Saudis. Oil to $50 by May, it looks like there will be peace everywhere. Deripaska moans on Telegram. Orban is already croaking from his perch. The Americans are going to leave the war in Ukraine, and Europe will not be able to finance it on its own. And Putin is pressing the situation, demonstratively killing peaceful Ukrainians with bombs and mortars. Kharkov and Odessa shook from the explosions, while the bald scum was showing off from the Baldy tribune. The Kremlin's Chikatilo has not been so pleased with himself for a long time. His speech at the Baldy Forum was even deliberately extended until late in the evening so that the main audience member overseas will have time to wake up, for whom the rat solo was performed. "You promised to finish, right? I'm ready, so give me everything I managed to gnaw off. Otherwise, I'll continue to kill, and my new victims will be on your conscience." This flirtation with Trump is probably making Comrade Xi nervous, who may take revenge in a fit of jealousy. But for now, everything is developing in a favorable direction for the Kyiv. By spring, get out of the quagmire, improve the financial situation, accumulate strength and weapons, and in 4 years start the last and decisive battle. And the only thing that can ruin these plans is the economic crisis, on the brink of which the cave Putinomics is already balancing. When the central bank is forced to raise the key rate, and business is packing up its bags. Then greatness will be replaced by what the older generations saw in the late 80s and early 90s. Empty shelves and despair, with the realization that they were once again forced to repeat something completely different from what they wanted. And the spiral of the empire's collapse will enter a second circle.